Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Okay, so I called because I recently got divorced. I have 3 children, and my former spouse, when the court ordered all of the debt and all the things, my former spouse was court ordered to pay off a credit card that's in my name. Now, we sold our house, I got all the money from the house, paid the lawyer, paid all of my other debts except this one credit card. And so my question is, so I got a decent tax return, and so I was wondering, do I go ahead and just pay it off with the tax return from my money, or do I just let him pay it as he is able to?
He just got the money from the house. Why didn't he pay it off?
He didn't get any money from the house because that's how much was back owed. He actually still owes me another $14,000 that's coming out of his 401k. That hasn't come through yet. That's still being worked on. But he didn't get anything from the house because of
how much? What's the balance on? What's the balance on the credit card?
It's about $2,200.
What do you make?
I am a stay-at-home mom, so I get about $1,900 in child support. I have a 3-year-old and then a 9 and an 8-year-old, and so I stay home with them, and I use the child support and alimony to cover our bills. And then once my 3-year-old
$1,900 is the total you're living on?
Yeah.
With 3 kids?
Well, I'm selling everything I can, and I have a small, tiny, teeny tiny pottery business.
You know the math on that doesn't work, right?
Yeah. God has continued to provide. I got about $10,000 back in taxes.
God can do math.
Covered me. He can, but he's continued to provide, and I haven't had to use credit cards or anything. But this is the last one I'm trying to pay off, and so.
Kimberly, where are you living? I'm just curious what your rent situation is.
I'm in Callahan, Colorado, which is about 40 minutes away from the Springs. My rent is about $1,150 a month.
And you have $1,900 coming in, and you have 3 kids to feed.
Correct.
Are you planning on going back to work?
I am. So we have summer coming up, and then my 3-year-old should be going to school next semester or next in the spring.
Yeah.
And so once she goes back, I'm going to go back into the workforce. But I got to stay home with my 2 big ones, and so I wanted to continue to be able to do that with her. So I've been selling everything I can. I refinished furniture a little bit too, and so I've been doing that, and then pottery, and then selling all the things.
Okay, so
that I can find to sell.
But you said in the spring. Do you mean the fall? You'll go back to work probably in August, in 2 months.
No,
yeah,
she's talking about next spring.
No, I don't know if she misspoke.
When the school year coming up. So we're going into summer now.
Oh, September.
Yeah, so
August, September.
So August, September, you'll go back
sir.
in the workforce.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Making what?
Hopefully, I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years, so I'm hoping to make at least $30,000 a year. That's the goal. I have a degree in graphic design, but I kind of hate it with a passion. And so I'm wanting to probably do something in sales or something like that. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to get through the next few months doing what I can.
Yeah, I probably would, considering where you're at financially, I wouldn't pay for it right now. I mean, the hard thing is that it's a little bit of a gamble that it's in your name. So if he doesn't pay, right, then it's all liability. But for right this moment, I don't know if I would. I mean, Kimberly, there'll be a place that, there's nothing else to sell, right? I mean, like, you're going to get to a place that, like...
I'm more concerned about your kids eating the MasterCard getting paid right now. So,
okay.
And you, as long as you understand that the divorce decree says he's supposed to pay it, but that divorce decree does not have the power to take your name off of it. And so if he doesn't pay it, it's going to be you that gets dinged.
Yeah, and so, that's my thing. So...
At some point, if he doesn't pay it, you're going to have to drag him back into court, or you're going to have to pay it.
But that $10,000 I would keep for.
It's $2,200 right this second. I want to make sure that I don't want going out the door to a credit card company.
Okay. All righty. Perfect. I appreciate your wisdom.
I'm sorry, Kimberly, you're going through this.
Yeah. I feel like I would not have loved you well if I didn't say I think you need to lean in on this income side harder. Okay. I'm a person of faith also, and I do believe that God comes through, but I have noticed that no corn grows unless I sow corn.
For sure.
I have to put corn in the ground, and then God brings the rain, and God brings the sunshine. But if you sow sparingly, you're going to reap sparingly. And going along saying God has provided, and it's going to be okay, and I don't have any idea what I'm going to be doing in August. I'm going to love you enough as my little sister to say you need to focus in on this career piece, and you need to really start thinking about what you're going to be, because you're hurting and you've been wounded by this whole process.
It's terrible. And 3
and
kids.
You didn't expect to be here.
Yeah.
And it's caught you off guard. And I'm sitting the other side of it, and the math is scaring me for you. And so I want you to, I'm going to send you Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, and I'm also going to send you his assessment to start figuring out what it is you want to do. And let's start thinking about 10 years from today, what is the glorious, most prosperous career that you're going to love and make a lot of money doing, that you start working towards now and actually engage in August, rather than I think I'll maybe go into sales because I hate graphic design. I want more thought into this for you than that if I'm you. So hang on, I'll give you those 2 things as our gift. And I'm not trying to be offensive. I know you're hurting, but I'm also not going to let you just sit there, because your numbers are really scary, really scary. So I want to see some income coming your way for a long-term sustainability for you. When somebody in her situation, her whole plan was to be a mom with those kids.
That's
I got
terrible.
to stay home with the other 2. Now I want to stay home with this last one. But all of that changed with the divorce. You don't get to make the same choices because of what's gone on.
Yeah. And I think she said through the summer.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying she's bad.
No. But
the game has changed. It's a new script.
Yep. And that's what is so, I'm sure for her, it's so painful.
Oh, it is.
Right?
It's awful.
Just not only the divorce aspect, but and I think that is hard for a lot of women.
It's hard for everybody.
That maternal instinct is so strong. And for so many women, they, and choose to and want to, desire to, dream to stay home with kids and do all of that. And then when that is taken from you and you're forced back into something like this, it's terrible. It's terrible. But Kimberly, I really think, I'm glad you called in though, because I hope that this gives you some direction, maybe a little bit of motivation, but also it just sucks. Like, this is one of those grieving things that Dr. John Deloney talks about. You grieve what isn't true anymore, right? And
it's gone. That dream is gone. Now we need a new one. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.